others as they start their businesses and develop their businesses. She's going to share her story, but let me just give you her background. Michelle Ball, and it's Rogers now, so is a wife, a small town girl, former high school science teacher. She's a 100 Club member, national marketing director, and 100 Club means that you have a very large business. It's the highest recognition for business development. And of course, she feels like her most important role is mother of 6 children in her beautifully blended family. Growing up on a farm gave her a strong value for living work. After finding Plus franchise, Michelle, together with her amazing team, built a 100 Club organization with thousands of customers and team members over a 4-year period. She is passionate about helping people become happier and healthier. Michelle, along with her husband, Kelly, and their children, live a life of choice and freedom because of their Juice Plus franchise. So she's going to share some things with you tonight and share with you how she developed her business. And so, Michelle, I'm going to go to you.
Thank you, Cheryl, and thank you guys.
Wait. Come on. That's what you call what is it? Where it's cabin fever.
It's cabin autism.
Okay, so we're on to you, Michelle.
This is not autism.
Hi guys, so thank you so much for having me. I'm humbled and honored to be on Cheryl's call and following Jay. I was just thinking about the first time I actually got to know Jay Martin, and I was down in Memphis for Q school, and I walked into the restaurant disoriented and saw that there was, and I didn't have my glasses on, and I saw that there was an empty seat at this one table in the back. So me and my friend Sandy went to go sit down, and once I got close enough, I realized it was Jay and Sandra, but it was too late to awkwardly turn back and find another table. And so he called us over and ate dinner with us and kicked Stephen Millman out of there and just sat down and asked me my story and heard what I had been through and how this business had saved me. And I remember being like, my goodness, like the founder of this company, I'm a QNMD, and had the time, he shared wine with us out of like the little, the thing you can pour into your glass and top up with the extra that you get. He drank out of that and gave us his wine glass while we were waiting for wine. And I just thought, man, how lucky did I get to get into a company that has a leader like this that cares about everybody? Like I'd never been treated like that as a teacher. And I just knew that it was such a safe place to build an empire. And that's what I've truly done with this virtual franchise. And so I'm going to share with you guys my story. I first heard about Juice Plus 9 years ago, and I had 0 interest. And when I say 0, it was probably like -30 interest. Like I did not think that I needed this product, and I was happy for my friend who was doing well with it. But I truly was just like, I eat it the real way. And I don't know if you guys have ever come across anyone like that, but I really believed in fruits and vegetables, grew up in a small town on a farm with a huge garden. And so, however, my son Lincoln was getting tonsil infections every 2 months. And I feel like that was given to us as a challenge so that I could find this product and be led into this business. We were trying everything. Nothing was working. Lincoln's tonsil infections were getting more and more frequent, and we were in the hospital every 60 days. And that's when I thought, oh my goodness, not only are his tonsils just terrible, his behavior is not great anymore. He was 4 years old at the time. His attention span was not great. As a teacher, I was worried about, ADHD or medication in the future. And he was becoming aggressive with his little sister who was 2 years old. So I'm taking parenting classes, and I'm just unsure what to do about my really rambunctious 4-year-old boy who's getting more and more sick more and more often. And that's when Sandy said, you know that I love Lincoln, right? And when she came at me with Heart One, I was like, oh my gosh, you're going to talk about Juice Plus again, aren't you? I remember like just calling her out. And she laughed and she said, I have to, like, you should see the research on this product. And as you guys heard in my bio, I'm a science teacher. So when she told me, sit down and read the research, what if this product could help? And what if you didn't need to do a surgery? And when she worded it that way, I really felt like a little bit ridiculous. Like, here I am considering putting my son under general anesthetic, like, for lack of a better word, cutting his throat out, but I'm not going to let him try fruit and vegetable chewables. Like, it really just sat there for me and on a silver platter. So we decided to get going. If you've heard my story before, you'll know that within a couple of weeks, he started fighting his own infections without medical intervention. Fast forward a couple of months, I saw that his behavior was normalizing, his attention span was normalizing, his aggression completely disappeared, and I was absolutely wowed. I, at the time, signed up to get a discount on the product, and this is a big part of my story, and the reason I always share it in business trainings is that it is now the foundation of what we've done to build our business quickly and with stability. Offering the discount is literally the secret sauce of the reason I am where I am. So I signed up for the discount. I decided that's all I'll ever do. But my brilliant upline, Sandy, and best friend, even though I told her I don't want to do anything with this, please don't bother me, she still was smart enough to say, yeah, that's okay. But I just wanted to let you know that if you get 6 more customers, you could get to this level where you get this X number of bonus. So it was basically QSC. And at the time it was $300. And so she planted the seed and then left me be. And knowing my personality, I just secretly got to work on it. I started phoning people and telling them how amazing this product had been for my son and that I had thought of them. And I got to this level and I got this bonus. And I remember Sandy being so excited, calling me up, and I still played dumb because I didn't want her to like push me or think I was going to do anything else. But here's the second thing that she did that was so right, that we still use in our formula today to find working team members. She got me to an event. So I know that we can't get to live events right now, but we can get on calls like this and we can get our new person that got to QSC onto something where they hear Jay Martin singing with Elton. Like, I mean, wasn't that so sweet? I felt something right then. And even though we can't be together, I still can tell like, wow, this is a community. And now I'm a part of something. So there's a few things in that story, in that beginning part of my story, that are important to note. Number one, I came in on the discount and I never thought I would do anything, but I was told how to get to the next level. Number two, I was brought to an event after I got to QSC. Now, if it would have been before, she would have brought me too, but I just want you to know that in that first little part where you're trying to get somebody to QSC, keep it as simple as you possibly can. It can be so overwhelming signing up for a new business. And if we get pumped into all these calls and all these events and all this stuff, while we're just figuring out if we're going to be any good at this, sometimes it can really distract us and overwhelm us and get us out of action. So in our team, the formula really is get them to QSC, set the events, do the events. Once they're at QSC, slowly start feeding them into the team system and getting them on the calls. That's what works for us. And that's how we find working team members. Offer the discount, get them to QSC, get them to an event. So that's what happened for me. At the event, I ended up seeing Carrie and Mickey Daigle speak, who are incredible speakers. And I was just thinking, this is going to be wonderful. Like, I love this community. I felt at home. I remember sitting there we had RVs actually all pulled up to this one person's big ranch, and it was out here in Canada with a view of the Rocky Mountains. And I hadn't been anywhere because I had little kids. So this was the first time I ever had done anything in 4 years for myself. And we stayed up laughing till like 2 or 3 in the morning. Put your hand up if you've been to a Juice Plus event and you guys like had so much fun and were giggling and laughing and just like feeling that community. Yeah, like that was me. And I remember sitting there just being like, oh my goodness, like I haven't felt a sparkle like this in so long. So what nobody knew about me is that I was married at the time, and I was married to somebody who was struggling seriously with addiction issues. And our marriage was filled with a lot of drama and trauma and everything that addiction does. And I had not like come out and just felt at home and happy for a really long time. And so I go to the event the next day. I find out that, oh, wow, this is a real business. Like I could earn $120,000 a year doing this if I got to 39 Club. Still remember seeing that pamphlet that showed the average incomes. And I was like, I love this product. What am I doing? What if I could make $2,000 a month? That would change my life. That would keep me home indefinitely with my family. That would help me to be able to contribute to the household. And maybe that would help my current marriage. And so I got home, got to sales coordinator, started earning about $500 a month, and then life just absolutely blindsided me. And it's funny because Mickey Daigle had been speaking and sharing about the 4 Ds. She's like, you know, as a woman especially, but anyone, you never know when these are going to hit you because life can just totally throw you a curveball. And the curveballs were death, So sole provider or the provider of your household dies suddenly, disability, somebody gets hurt in a workplace accident, debt, you can't get out from underneath the mountain of credit card bills, etc., or divorce. She said, write those down because this is a plan B that can transition into a plan A. So I'm writing them down, not thinking anything of it. And lo and behold, I get home and I ended up getting blindsided by divorce. My husband at the time has no more fight left in him for his addiction and just up and left. And we were left, I was left with a 2 and 4-year-old with no child support, making $500 a month, wondering, what am I going to do? And I just remember this little voice, because like I could have easily gone back to teaching, earning $80,000 a year, full benefits, summers off with my kids. And I'm sure that that's everything my parents wanted for me. But deep down, I had always had this dream that I was going to be at home with my kids until they started grade 1 at the very least. And I just thought, what if I could do that with this little business? Like I already got it to earning $500 a month. What if I just really put my head down and I got to it and I made this list? And then like, you know how God speaks to you in these ways. And I went on Facebook and the next day somebody had shared a quote that said she took a leap and built her wings on the way down. And I thought, oh my goodness, like that's literally what I have to do. I've got to take this leap. I'm going to fill out my substitute teaching forms. And if I have to go back to work, if I cannot make ends meet and I can't pay the bills, then I will substitute teach however many days I need to pay the bills. So I did all that because of the bonus money that this company pays out. My goodness, you guys, I'm so grateful. It's not like, trips or anything else. Like we get cash, and that cash is how I put diapers on my daughter, how I paid for food. Like I was a single mom. I had no child support. So every time I would see like, oh my gosh, the month is closing, I'm going to need more, I would just literally like run the phone until I found somebody who wanted to go to QSC with me. And then I would get a bonus because they went to QSC as well. And I just kept like working the system and just kept doing what I knew was working. And that was sharing my story, sharing my heart. Those who were interested would join me and those who weren't wouldn't. And I didn't have to feel like, a yucky salesperson or that I was doing anything wrong or that I was bugging anybody, because as long as I was just sharing my story and getting a yes or a no, well, then the rest was up to them. And that's how I got out of worrying whether I was bothering people. So it took me from the day I became a single mom until the day I got that call from Juice Plus Canada was 12 months. And they called me and said, you're Canada's newest national marketing director. And I will not forget that day. That was the day that the decision I made was the right one. It was like, I sighed a huge sigh of relief. I'm sure my family did too. I was making as much as a teacher. I had these full medical benefits. I had unlimited time freedom as well. And I just thought I made the right choice. And I'll tell you, like through that first year, I remember my son, he came up to me and said, Mommy, I know that Daddy left because I pushed Ava. And I was devastated. I was like, oh, honey, and he was 4 years old, and I just picked him up into my lap, and I loved on him. I said, honey, this is not your fault. Like it's textbook how kids blame themselves for divorce. And I just loved him through it. I said, your daddy's sick and it doesn't have anything to do with you. And he just isn't feeling well in his mind. And I got to explain it all to him and love on him and help him through that moment. And I remember thinking like, thank goodness I'm home right now. Thank goodness that I get to be the one caretaking for Lincoln right now, because my goodness, did they need me. They needed me so much through that first year. And so when I think about my year to national marketing director, like, was the income great? Yes. Was the community wonderful? Yes. Like I remember going through my divorce and my upline brought me a casserole because she knew I was struggling. And I remember holding the casserole being like, normally somebody has to die before you get a casserole, but I'll totally take it. Thank you. Like I didn't know how I was going to feed the kids tonight. And I just thought it's home. But what I really could never put a price tag on, you guys, was the time freedom. Like I needed to be home with my babies and they needed me to be home. And it was like this magical time freedom that I still get to experience today. So I hit national marketing director in 2013. geez, that's so long ago. We're coming up on 8 years ago already. And this business has continued to grow. The income has continued to grow. The time freedom has continued to grow. Like in those first 3 to 5 years, somebody once told me, you're going to put a lifetime worth of work into these 3 to 5 years, and they're going to be busy and you're going to have to make sacrifice. But if you do, you're going to be able to live your life like retirement for the rest of your years. And that is exactly what I did. I see my husband is rolling around on the floor behind me. It's so distracting, honey. He's playing with the dog. And this is life doing business at home, isn't it? It's not the husband, it's the kids. And if it's not the kids, it's the dog. He loves hearing my story, so he always likes to be near when I'm doing these calls. But it's just continued to grow. Like, I cannot believe the time freedom since hitting NMD with the company. It's just like, then came 100 Club, then came PMD. I'm working on PMD Plus right now. And people need our product, and they need our business, and they need our community. They are looking right now more than ever. And this has been like my constant companion through the ups and the downs of life. I met my current husband, Kelly, who you could see behind playing with the dog. And he's the most amazing man. But I'll tell you right now, I would not have felt worthy of this kind of love if I hadn't have done the personal development that was brought to me by this company. The books I've read, the getting rejection from close friends. I mean, that's the biggest personal development that you could ever get in life. I always say, and I've heard this before, and it's basically that this business is cleverly disguised. It's really a personal development course. And that has been so true for me in terms of who I've grown into and what I feel worthy of. So I have blended my family with Kelly. We have 4 kids together, and then my 2 stepkids from before. So all together we have 6 children. We live this beautiful life of choice and purpose, and we have a mission of helping people, and it's the most incredible thing. When I met Kelly, he was working way up north in Canada, Fort McMurray, flying in and out of the oil sands, and we would only see him 50% of the time. So he would be gone half of our kids' lives when he would miss Christmas concerts and Christmas mornings and birthdays and all the rest of it. And when he would come home, he would sometimes say, the kids look bigger. And he was so sad to be missing that much of life. So we sat down, because of my income, with the Juice Plus company and decided, this is no longer serving our family. We need you to be home. So we moved him home. He got to retire into investing. So he works in the stock market now from home, took a wonderful course online, has been doing extraordinarily well with that. But most importantly, he's living in his top values, which are being with family and spending time with loved ones. And that's thanks to this business. Like, I mean, I could go on and on and on about the benefits that this business has given us, but I'll tell you, like, my children ended up losing their biological dad to heart failure when he was 40 years old. So when my kids were 7 and 9 years old, I had to dress them up for their dad's funeral. And it was like such a hard day. And you know, although I knew that was a risk of my ex-husband's lifestyle, you never can prepare for that kind of thing. And I just remember Kelly being the rock. Like, he found Ava hiding in her room, and he just went over to her and said, like, Ava, you don't need to do this by yourself. Oh, and he just picked her up and loved on her. And I know for sure that he would not have been here to be able to support my daughter through that day, to be able to help us through the days that would come in the layers of grief that came as we dealt with that death and that loss. It is unbelievable what time freedom can mean. And I don't know what it would mean in your world, but that is what it has meant in our world. On a more happy note, we have gotten to take our summers. So our kids go to school, and we honestly, the thing that limits our freedom the most is our kids' school schedule. So in the summer, when they get their 8 weeks off, we just totally take off. And I want to share my screen for a minute. And I can't right now, but if somebody can let me have screen sharing privileges, I will show you guys what we spend our summer in. So we bought an RV, and I renoed it into this cute little condo on wheels, and we just take it all across Canada, you guys. We go out to Vancouver Island. We spend 8 weeks just living like gypsies. We find potholes and waterfalls and the ocean, and like, we just travel and travel and travel. And it is the most incredible thing, because one of my top values is variety. It's a human need of mine. And I just love that we can be like, let's go somewhere else today. Okay, let's head out to Tofino. We're going to learn how to surf. And like, what other business could you have that? Like, as a teacher, I would have my summers, a little bit of them. Most of it was spent preparing for class, and I wouldn't have the money to match the lifestyle. So with this business, you get to have both. If you believe that you can do it, and you believe in the business, and you believe in the product, then you can have whatever life you want to have with this business opportunity. And the best thing is, when your paycheck is deposited into your bank account on the 10th of each month, that income is so high vibration, like high vibe money, because every cent of it was earned by helping people feel better and be better. And like, it's just the most incredible way to earn an income. So that's a little bit about my story. I could go on and on and on about this business and how it supported me and how this community has had my back. I hope you can feel my heart around that. I absolutely was gifted with this community and this business because I didn't do my due diligence and research it. I just stumbled in because I fell in love with the product. So if anyone can relate to that, that was me. And here I am continuing to build an empire with it. But I wanted to share with you guys tonight some of the key elements to us having success. And actually, I just had a coaching call today, and it was for a sideline. And I love helping teams that aren't mine. You guys probably know that, that's how the Juice Plus community is, right? Like, you've probably gotten help from other sidelines where they don't even benefit from you financially. I've gotten help from sidelines before as well. And today it was a sideline call. And she said, I'm so stuck. And I said, okay, one, I know exactly how you feel, because everybody will get stuck in our business at one point or another. Some people get stuck on their way to QSC. Some people get stuck on their way to NMD. I got stuck from 12 club to 39 club. So I was so desperate that I needed to get to NMD. I got there with a 12 club, and then I got stuck, you guys. I mean, like, I would get one qualifier, then I would lose two. And then I would get two qualifiers and lose one. And I was just spinning my tires. Has anybody ever felt like that? You get a new rep, you lose one, right? You get a new customer, you lose two. Okay, one, that's totally normal. Everybody gets stuck at different levels. You usually will get stuck wherever you feel worthy of getting stuck. So what I mean by that is, if getting to the next level will give you an income that you don't feel comfortable with or worthy of, then you'll stick yourself. And that's where, guess where I got stuck income-wise, guys. I got stuck earning exactly what I would earn as a teacher, and I couldn't break through. And isn't that surprising, right? That's what I felt worthy of earning. So I stuck myself at 12 club, and I figured I had to get out of this. So I'm doing this coaching call with a girl today, and I realized, what did I do at this time? If you're stuck in this business, you have to go out and start recruiting again. It is the only way to get out of being stuck. So I kept thinking, oh, but this girl told me she wants to get to sales coordinator, so I'm just going to work with her. I'm going to keep bugging her and phoning her and texting her, and she's going to be ghosting me. But she told me she wanted it, so I'm just going to keep bugging her. Has anyone ever done that before? Am I the only one? Come on, let me see some hands here. Anybody? Yeah? Okay. Because it's scary to go get new people, right? It's much easier to just bug the person who already joined your team. So if you're feeling stuck out there, and I was at 12 Club, then go get some new, fresh blood. There's nothing that will get you more excited than a new distributor. So that's what I did. I went out and I got some more new distributors, and my existing distributors saw that I was moving forward with or without them. And some of them decided to join me. And that's how we got unstuck from 12 Club. And the big thing that I want to say to you is, you have to protect and nurture a positive culture in your team. Whether you have one team member or you've got 100 team members. In my team, in Team Synergy, our motto is no drama. Okay, so we do not talk bad about each other. We do not spend any time really venting. So if I get a phone call with a problem on my team, then what we do is we spend 20% of the phone call just going through the actual logistics of the problem, and 80% of the phone call is spent on solutioning that problem. So right away, assuming the best of the person, assuming that they must be under some other stress to be behaving this way, how can we set a healthy boundary, and then moving on. And I think that what that's really done in our team is created this serious environment of trust and safety. Because if you can't gossip to me about your team member, then you know I'll never be gossiping about you behind your back either. And it sets this culture, which is all about thriving, all about love and trust, and taking a leap and building your wings on the way down. So I think that's one of the biggest keys to success, I would say, in our whole organization, is the culture that we've created in terms of all about solutions, healthy boundary setting, and assuming the best of each other. Okay. And then I wanted to quickly talk to you guys about startup. And I did touch on it briefly in my story because it is my story. But when we start up a new rep, we keep it so simple. I'm going to take a brand new rep through 3 startup events. 2 of them are going to be a conversational event like this, Zooms. If it's a Zoom, you can either share your screen and play a video, or you can simply just talk about why Juice Plus is so simple, but keep it short and do a lot of storytelling. Unfortunately, people don't really care what you're doing. They care why you're doing it. So we have to share our heart around why this product has been so incredible for us. So we'll do 2 Zooms. If we're not during a pandemic, of course, I'm going to try to make sure one of those is an in-home in their living room. Even if I can't be there and I'm running the event for them because they're my new rep, I will have them get together, like say they're in another province or they're too far away for me to drive to. I'll have them get together in their living room and I will Zoom in on the computer. I will share my story, then we'll do some story sharing. I'll even have a glass of wine sometimes if it's a wine event. And I'll be like, hi guys, I wish I was there to cheers you in person, but you guys can have a good time after this. My name is Michelle, here's Juice Plus, here's my story. I'm gonna let you go visit, have some fun. Thanks for letting me be a part of your evening. So that's what I would do for an in-home event when I can't be there. If I can be there, I go a half an hour early, bond with everybody before I start speaking, do my event, bond with everybody before I leave, and we're usually going to get some orders out of that. The third event that we've started doing is called a messenger event. How many people on here have done a Facebook event before? You guys ever done a Facebook event? Okay, we got a few people. Facebook events used to be wonderful, but they've changed the algorithms. And now the way events work, people aren't seeing all the posts in there and they aren't getting notifications on their phone, and it's getting really lost in terms of them knowing what's going on. So what we used to do is we would do a Facebook event on Thursday at 7 o'clock, and then on Thursday at 7, we would post in there. So what we've decided to do now is we do a DM event or a messenger event, we call them, and we're either gonna bring that into a Facebook message group chat, just a plain old group chat. So I've got me, my new girl, and then she's gonna invite like however many of her people that she can add to this Facebook messenger group, okay? And then in there, we're gonna just post some stuff, have some conversation going back and forth, and then I'll talk you through exactly what I'm putting into those groups in a minute. But I just want you to know that as exciting as the messenger events are, they are my last event that I do, because this right now, heart to heart, I can see your guys' faces. We can chat after the event. Like this Zoom, way more powerful. However, harder to get people on, right? So we always do those 2 Zoom events. For anybody who said they were going to come and didn't, or ghosted us on our invites, then we'll circle back and we'll do the messenger event as a last resort, as a last stop for everybody. So here's what we're doing in our messenger events. The day before the event starts, so I always have the events, they are at a specific time, because that creates urgency and helps everybody come to the event at that time. So you're going to definitely get them all in there the day before the event or something, not too early, because then they kind of lose interest and lose track of it. About the day before the event, after you've added everybody, you're going to add your favorite Juice Plus video. Okay, throw that in there. Say, hey guys, before the event tomorrow, if everybody could watch this, that would be great. See you tomorrow. Then about 10 minutes before the event, you're going to text everybody individually and say, hey, can you please just remember to come on to Instagram or Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp, wherever you're having your event. Don't forget, in 10 minutes, we start our event. Thank you so much for coming. I'm so excited. If you have some really resistant guests, you can do a little draw for $20 for everybody who comes and engages in the event. And then you do a little draw at the end. And for us in Canada, we can e-transfer the money. I don't know if you guys have something like that in the US, but that's just a minute detail, okay? Right when you arrive, introduce yourself, because you're gonna be hosting for somebody who's new and you don't know their people. So I always post a picture of me with my kids. That seems to soften. Hey guys, I'm Michelle. I know Lisa because we met XYZ. Love her. Thank you for coming to support her health night. Here's who I am. Here's my kids. Where are you tuning in from? Love to see a picture of where you're tuning in from, and what you're doing right now. So the moms will start being like, I'm doing bedtime routine, and everybody starts sending pictures of where they are. That's what we do to just start the event. And then the event itself is going to be really straightforward. So we have some images of what Juice Plus is, like it shows the ingredients. We have some images showing what the research is. So it shows the different research results. We have a post, which I love, and it has things on it like hair growth, healthy skin, healthy bowels, healthy immune system, more energy, things like this. And in that image, I throw that in there and I'll say, if you had to pick two top areas of interest, that's really important because we're not promising results, just areas of interest. Which ones would you be interested in? So everybody's blowing up the chat like, oh, I would pick bowels and energy. I would pick mental health and such, like whatever it is that they are interested in, it gets them more engaged and it helps with follow-up as well. Then we're going to share stories like nobody's business. We've got some stories that are on images. So there's a picture with their story written out. We've got some that are little short videos. I'm loving 30-second story videos right now, you guys. Like, you know, your Juice Plus story. Like if you can get somebody to put that in bullet point, 30 seconds. For example, my husband, he's like, you know, I started taking Juice Plus. I was a skeptic, but in the end, it's helped me with my knee injury. I had a bad surgery and my knee is better. My lower back pain isn't as bad and it helps me with muscle recovery. Boom, done. So people can watch these little 30-second videos very quickly to see, oh, okay, like that's how it's impacted him. And we have, of course, an image in there that says like, we're not promising any results. These are stories that are unique to each person and everybody's different. And this is just nutrition. So you want to include something like that. We have a little video where I just show, I'm like, this is what it looks like. And I hold up a capsule that's pre-recorded. So it goes into every event, it's 30 seconds long, showing what Juice Plus looks like. Another 30-second video that shows how to swallow the capsules. Then we go into the shakes and the shred, then Tower Garden. Then I always do pricing. I think it's important to do it because they're going to ask it anyways. And I say the free child order comes with the top 3 options. So I have an image for that. And then I share a video about the discount that just talks about you can get 10, 20, or 15 or 20% discount, depending how far you want to go with this video or with this business. So that's what we're doing in our messenger event. And I think that it's something new. The distributors are getting excited about it. It's not magic. It's nothing really different, but the person that's hosting the event, their people are going to get better notifications because it is an Instagram like DM or a Facebook private message or a WhatsApp message. They get a notification on their phone, almost like a text message. So it's in their face a little bit more and they're drawn more into the event. So, and then the last thing I'm going to say about getting a rep started. So if they're going to, like, not everyone's going to go to QSC, guys. You might think, oh, Michelle, every distributor she starts up gets to QSC, I bet. And no, I've had probably the last 8 distributors I've had join my team have not hit QSC. Like my last QSC was a long time ago. And then I just got one recently now. So even if you do everything right and you have the best system and you have this awesome events, some people are just not going to do it. And that's not on you. Some people will, some people won't. And so the only other thing that I'll say is once they hit QSC, plug them into the system, help them with their first few startups. So when they get some distributors that are looking for a discount, you help start up with them. Don't expect them to do it on their own. They're like a newborn baby. You wouldn't expect a 5 or 6 month old baby that's just starting solids to hold a spoon and feed themselves. And we can't expect that for the first 1 to 3 months, that 3-month range when somebody's new. You're my baby and I'm going to feed you in the night. I'm going to respond to you whenever you need. I'm going to help you learn how to eat solids. Like that's my job. And if you're not willing to put that time in the first 3 months to your new rep, then you're not going to get an independent rep that's ready to fly without you. So really important to know that it's that time that you put in will reap so many benefits, you guys. Like, I mean, I have distributors that I don't have to coach at all anymore. I just get to be friends with now. And they are contributing to my paycheck in like massive amounts of ways. Like it's just crazy how this marketing plan works. So, and after that, it's really important that you know how to father and mother. All of us that get into a business like this, we're nurturers, we're lovers, we're light workers. We want to help and heal the world and kumbaya and all the hippie things, right? And that's natural to us. Like we do that easily, but lots of times our distributors don't need a mom. They actually need a dad, and they need somebody who's going to be like, okay, like you told me that you started this for this reason. Is that not important anymore? Or is that not something that you're shooting for anymore? And if not, no worries, because this is your business, but I'm not going to leave you behind because you told me you wanted to be able to afford all these sports for your son. And I'm not letting you drop that ball if you still want that. Like lovingly with boundaries, fathering your team members through their own BS is going to be the thing that they're going to go up on stage and share about later. Like you believed in them before they believed in themselves. Well, that's because like what they mean by that is you gave them some tough love, right? Like you've all heard those stories on the stage. Guaranteed their upline didn't always mother them. Guaranteed their upline phoned them up once in a while and said, hey, sister, it's time to get to work. You're in your head right now and you need to drop out of here and drop down into your heart and get back to this product being amazing. Everyone needs this product. Where are you? Why aren't you out there sharing? What's happening? Okay, you got rejected. Let's pick you back up. Now let's get back out there. Like you have to be that kind of like tough love presence in order to get them from QSC into working solid, stable leader team member. And that's what I wasn't doing when I was stuck at 12 Club. I was like nurturing everybody, doing way too much for everyone. If I wasn't there, they weren't doing events. People were resenting me and getting mad at me because they weren't getting orders. And I had all kinds of an unhealthy dynamic going on in my business. But then I learned I need to be more like a dad. I need to set boundaries with my team members and I need to love them. But I've got to nudge them out of the nest. Like they need to learn how to fly. And as soon as I started doing that, people started respecting my time in a totally new way. They started being grateful for any of the coaching I was able to give them. They started doing events with or without me. And my paycheck started growing in a huge residual way. So that fathering piece is like one of the most critical things that I would say in terms of taking someone from QSC to working team member. And guys, I know I speak really fast, so hopefully I didn't overwhelm you with so much stuff tonight, but that's all I've got for you. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Michelle, so much. And now I know you all can see why I've always admired her so much. And certainly there's no question that she is totally engaged in day-to-day operations, and she's on it as far as knowing what her strategic plan is, and how she's going to implement that plan. So again, thank you so much. And such a beautiful story. And I myself, I guess we all identify with parts, as we hear it. But 8 years, the day will come when it's 20 and 25 and 30. And you'll look back as we did tonight on what not only prosperity, but great fun, a wonderful and continuing to be a wonderful experience. I can remember when I got stuck exactly where it was. And it's always, what you feel you deserve. And when you get past that, what always grows. So that was a great instruction tonight. We really thank all of you that are here with us. And hopefully you have found as much joy and information and inspiration that has been shared tonight as I have. And I know many of you on the line. As we close, certainly we have had the most unusual year of our lives. Again, as Jay Martin really, I guess you would say, shared in so many words, is that how proud he is. Everybody from home office to people in the field, I mean, they just took up their responsibility and went right to it as far as continuing to support the people that they work alongside and that they're responsible to and with. And we didn't miss a beat. We have really thrived this year. And I think if everyone can just really reach out and put your arms around people and invite them to be part of not only good health, but this mission of supporting others in good health, which of course brings that supplemental return, and maybe at some point, if you choose a full-time career, that it's available in a way that I think it never has been before for all most interesting reasons, but definitely there for all of us. As I close tonight, first of all, I want to thank everyone who's come together to help with these events. And I think that they're very powerful at this time for us to stay connected, and very important. Many of you know, excuse me, I'm from New Orleans, and many years ago, Katrina came through, and we talk about things that are, they're traumatic, they're traumatizing. Certainly this pandemic will leave its mark as well. But I just wanted to share something with you. That was a very difficult time for us, as many people, of course, now are having difficulty in dealing with what we're all dealing with in the world. That was a particularly difficult time for us in that area. And I can remember when I was repairing my house and it took forever. and everybody was doing the same thing. And the man who was helping to do the construction, I needed a certain type of, I don't know, it was like bolts or some sort of apparatus to work on the roof. And he sent me to a little place to pick it up because we were all trying to help. Okay. And went into this little tiny place that looked like a mechanic shop. And it was just like everything was brown or black was what I remember, and lots of little boxes everywhere. And these two guys that looked like they'd been working under a car for a long time came out and to help me with what I needed to buy. While I was with that whole room, the only thing that was white was a sheet of paper, and I still have it. It looks like this. It had has this blue sky looking top. And I can say that everyone in New Orleans was probably traumatized with what we were going through at the time. And I picked this up and I loved it. And I think it's a beautiful message. And it just was so interesting as to where I found it. But I picked up a copy because I asked him if he had any copies. And he said, I have a whole stack here because people love this. And what it says is promise yourself. Promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind. Promise yourself to talk health, happiness, and prosperity to every person you meet. To make all of your friends feel that there is something wonderful in them. To look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism come true. To think only of the best, to work only for the best, and expect only the best. To be just as enthusiastic about the successes of others as you are about your own success. To forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future. To wear a cheerful countenance for all times and to give every living creature you meet a smile. To give so much time to the improvement of yourself that you have no time to criticize others. To be too large for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear, and too happy to permit the presence of trouble. So hopefully that leaves us all with tonight inspiration, information. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, all of you that helped with it. And let's just go out there and do what we know how to do best and make that difference that only we can. So once again, good night, everybody. And we'll look forward to seeing you somewhere along the way. And as Jay says, big hugs as soon as we get there. Okay. Good night. Thank you.